Hello everyone, my name is Brady Feltz and I am a pastor who recently returned from a mission trip to Belize. Now the team and myself did a lot of things on the trip. We went sightseeing, we had some discussions about how to improve education in Belize, and some of us got a stomach bug. But the big reason for most of us going down was to help put the finishing touches on a house that we had built for a family. And so this is a video about us building that house. Now to be fair, most of the construction of the house was done by local villagers in San Narciso in Belize. And this trip was headed up by Lewisburg United Methodist Church in Lewisburg, Ohio. But there were several other churches that took part in this, including my own. And so I want to say thank you to Lewisburg United Methodist Church and all the churches that participated. And this video is meant to show those churches what exactly we did. And hopefully this video will help encourage other churches to join us in the coming years. But before I show you everything that we did on the house we built, I kind of want to show you what it was like in San Narciso. You see, some of us might think of Belize as a really poor country. And believe me, by modern American standards, it is. But there were a number of style of houses in San Narciso where we were working. For example, the house I stayed in had electricity, indoor plumbing, cable, and wireless internet. But that would not be true for a vast majority of the houses in San Narciso. At least half of the houses we saw were made out of wood with tin roofs. And some of them would have indoor plumbing and some of them would not. Some houses were made of cinder block and concrete, and they were obviously nicer and more wealthy than the other families, but they were usually also single story and smaller. Most of these houses seem to have indoor plumbing too. So you can see that while they're, quote, not nice American houses, there are some nice houses around in San Narciso. But not every house in San Narciso is like this. On the outskirts of town especially, we began to see more, quote, run-down houses. And this trend continued until we pulled in front of the Zapata family house, which, as you can see, is a stick hut. So we went inside and we got the grand tour of the Zapata family house. Now they had divided their room up, as you can tell, into multiple rooms using hanging sheets. And we were getting the grand tour, and there is Miss Zapata and the rest of our team. And this is the kitchen area. And the master bedroom. This was their shower. And this was their bathroom. It was an outhouse that was about 20 or 30 feet away from their actual house. And it was right by the side of the road. And I want to pause right here and say, I felt a little invasive videotaping everything, but I am thankful that the Zapata family gave me permission to do this, to tell their story. Now this was us driving in the back of a truck to the area where we had built the new house for the Zapata family. And on our left you can see sugarcane fields, and they went for as far as the eye could see. And on our right is just kind of a general field. Now the church had made it so that Mr. Zapata, the breadwinner of the family, was required to do some work for the house. So he was required to clear, or to help clear, the plot of land that the house was built on. He was also required to help with some of the construction. He was paid for his time. But this is the new house that is built, and this is the end product of construction. It is a 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom house with a living room and a kitchen out back. This was the girls' bedroom by the time we got done. This was the master bedroom for the parents.
Their twin bed.
And this was going to be the boys' room.
And that will be for the 6 girls. And then the boys will have a double bed, and they'll have a double bed. And then
This was the well that we had dug outside. It was a 90-foot deep well. This is the kitchen. Now a lot of what we went to do was to paint. We had to put 2 coats on everything I just showed you inside the house. So that meant a lot of painting. The house that we were putting together and finishing up. And more painting. The bathroom. And more painting. And some of us even enjoyed the painting. And more painting. And more painting. It really felt like the painting was never going to stop. Although admittedly I don't really like painting. After we had finished painting, we laid down what the Belizeans called carpet, but we would call linoleum. And this was to give the house a nice finish to it, to kind of make it feel a little bit more homey, and so that they didn't live on concrete. So we're getting like the final details done in the house, and not only do we have everybody here, including Richard, we have people from the village who've come out to kind of help. Like the cooks are here now helping us put the final touches on the kitchen. We got the furniture moved in, we wiped everything down, we mopped the floors. And so now we're just like putting the minute final finishing touches on. And I think we're probably within a half an hour to an hour of having the Zapata family out here and helping them move in. This is us bringing the Zapata family to their new home. Most of them rode in the back of a truck. And this is the big moment when Mrs. Zapata and her family gets to see their new house. This is Jackie giving her the grand tour, telling her which room is whose. Mrs. Zapata understood just a little bit of English. I think she knew what was going on here, but there's a lot to take in.
This is your room. And you're here, baby. Move closer together.
Now I want to pause here and tell you a little bit about Mrs. Zapata's story. Mrs. Zapata is the mother of 8 children, and she and her husband have not had a lot of wealth in their life. In fact, it is very safe to say that Mrs. Zapata has not had an easy life to this point. And as a result of that, she has developed a very stoic demeanor. And I would guess that she, like a lot of people who grow up in a hard lifestyle, do not expect a lot of generosity. So when we were showing her a house that she could never afford in her own life, she was understandably overwhelmed. So when we see these small tears running down her cheek, I want you to understand that this is the most emotion any of us have seen from her during our time there. After we had finished showing her the house, Pastor Richard Hildebrand from Lewisburg UMC decided to bless the house and anoint the doorways. And he asked actually one of the construction workers, Giovanni, to pray in Spanish. So there you have it. That house and this trip were the culmination of weeks and months of effort by so many churches. And once again, I want to say thank you to everyone who contributed, whether it was their time or their money. In the coming weeks and months, we who went on this trip are going to continue to get together and discuss what exactly Belize needs and where the mission is going to go from here. And we would love to have as many of you be a part of that as possible. So thank you, God bless you, and remember, we love you and there's nothing you can do about it.